4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to this week's live stream from our studios at Wadswick. Today we'll be asking, is flying becoming less sociable?
We'll be hearing why the turbine wheels literally came off Mike Patey's engine.
And Flying Yuki, pilot training and airability are about to bring opportunities for disabled flying to Cornwall.
But first, a big thank you to our sponsor, Sky Demon. Thank you very much, Sky Demon, for sponsoring the live stream. And here is your tip this week.
Hi, I'm Hannah from Sky Demon, and this is this week's top tip.
Once you've planned your route, you can create a briefing pack from the route menu. This can include all of these items, including your pilot log and en route charts, and your weather and NOTAM briefing. You can toggle off any items that you don't want to include in the pack. As you can see, this generates one handy document with all of your route information and briefing. You can even email yourself a copy if you need to keep it for your records or for printing.
For more information, go to our website, skydemon.aero.
So I assume this is going to be a better briefing pack than comes from NATS.
Funny enough, the NATS website doesn't seem to offer that kind of briefing pack. And this briefing pack is full and comprehensive, so it's a pretty good thing to do.
So, obviously, we're all interested what the weather's going to be like this weekend because it's the LAA rally coming up. Let's check out what Simon's got for us.
Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here with your flying weather outlook for the weekend ahead, brought to you exclusively by Fly, in association with weatherschool.co.uk. Thanks again for watching as we look at the forecast issued on Thursday, 28th of August, and things look unsettled through the weekend. Saturday's a bit of a write-off. Got a deep area of low pressure that's developing, bringing rain and bringing gales quite widely across the country. Best of the flying is going to be on Sunday. That's when the better windows will be. Still quite breezy. And then we stay unsettled into next week, but there will be some flying windows to be found. On to Friday, low pressure is to the west of Scotland again on Friday. So a really messy situation. I think what we can have to say is northern and western Scotland, the far north of Ireland, probably non-VFR to marginal VFR, with cumulum clouds around and embedded cumulum and the showers merging to longer spells of rain at times. Elsewhere, I'm going to say flyable to non-VFR in the showers, which could be quite heavy, tending to fade from the west later on. Typical base is 3,000 feet, tops at 20 to 25,000 feet, but like I say, they will probably lift a little from the west later on in the day, but just to count for it being a very showery day. Heavy showers affecting southwestern parts of England as well, and the risk of some thunderstorms at times in the heavier showers. Now, for Saturday, there is that area of low pressure centred towards the northwest of Northern Ireland at midday on Saturday, tracking eastwards. This rain pushing east, bringing strong winds with it, gales, gusts of 40, maybe even 50 knots over western coast and hills. The east of England, eastern Scotland, could actually start the day okay, 4,000 foot bases, 10,000 foot tops, but the cloud base lowering, the cloud top increasing as that rain arrives, and then we're into less than 1,000 foot bases with 15 to 20,000 foot tops as the rain moves east. Severe gales, those affecting mostly Southern Ireland, Wales and southwest England, and tracking eastwards during the course of the day. Should say as well, northern Scotland may be okay through the morning, but generally a bit of a write-off for Saturday. Sunday sees the area of low pressure to the north of Scotland. Heavy showers, northern and western Scotland, northwest England, northern and western parts of Ireland. Here, probably non to marginal VFR at best. QNIMs again, 3,000 foot bases, tops at around 20,000 feet. Other areas generally okay, pretty windy across Scotland. Summer showers affecting western parts of England, 2 to 4,000 foot bases. 15,000 foot tops. Late on, this system moving in, which will kill off the showers for a while, but then rain tracks east through southern England into Monday morning. Don't forget to go to weatherschool.co.uk, or you can use the QR code that you see to book your place at Aviation Weather School Part 1 starting next Tuesday. what a fantastic thing to do. It's the perfect time to be learning because we've got this unsettled weather around. So while you're flying less, now's the time to get up to speed with weather. Okay, I'll leave you with that for now. Whatever you do, have a safe flying weekend. Thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.
Well, that looks a bit changeable, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those take it day by day things, I think. But
I think we've left it too late to order some corporate umbrellas.
I think so.
Okay, time for some news then. Dave.
Right, well, top story is about Fly NQY, which I think is pronounced Fly Nuki, but it could be Flinky. But Fly NQY, pilot training and airability are about to bring disabled flying opportunities to people in the southwest at Cornwall Newquay Airport. That's the full title of the airport these days. So airability brings disabled people, the opportunity to go flying in a number of ways, and the opportunity at Cornwall Newquay Airport is going to be the fourth place around the UK. Obviously, there's Blackbush, their base. There's also Lydd, and the other one is Taton Hill. Down at Fly NQY, they've been outfitting the aircraft with modifications to get people into the aircraft and been learning how to use the hoist, and some special flying controls. And the instructors have been undergoing specialist training.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that Aerobility prides itself on is it's never actually said no to anybody. It's always flown anybody who's want to fly.
Yeah.
So wanted to fly, I should say. But,
yeah. There were some pictures coming out of Fly NQY, and Aerobility, which show disabled people who've been flying with them. And they're so uplifted by it.
Some sad news. Icon A5 founder Kirk Hawkins, ex-F-16 pilot and initial dynamo behind the whole Icon A5 thing, lost his life in a wingsuit accident in Switzerland last week. Not the kind of thing you can get wrong, sadly.
No. I mean, I've met Kirk Hawkins quite a few times. Right, the very first launch of the A5 at Oshkosh in 2008. And he was a force of nature. Great bloke, really friendly, exuded fighter pilot, but a really easy guy to talk to and interview.
Yeah, one of those people who just got way too much energy.
Yeah, and I mean, one of his friends, Steen Strand, who was a co-founder at Icon, wrote a piece about it on LinkedIn this week. And it's a lovely piece. We've included something in the news story on the website. But he comes across as, Steen said that Kirk Hawkins had a level of risk that would be far beyond most of us. Not because he was a dangerous person, but simply because he was able to assess the risk and realise, okay, I'm happy with that.
A loss.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a save, I guess, from you.
A save, yeah. A save from me for Mike Patey. So cast your mind back to July 2023 when Mike Patey, obviously a well-known aviation YouTuber, creator of Draco and Turbulence, as Mike had a enormous uncontained engine failure in Turbulence, which is his highly modified Lancair Legacy. Now that's powered by a Pratt & Whitney PT6A-42 big turbine in a little two-seat experimental. So he bought this as a replacement engine for Turbulence. It had previously had a PT6 in it. And installed it, and literally just a few weeks later had this failure. He was at pretty high altitude, so made a descent over a number of minutes. He was flying from Rapid City Regional Airport in South Dakota to Rochester International Airport in Minnesota, and made a gliding descent. But what had happened was that in the PT6 you have your power turbine, and then you have a planetary reduction gearbox on the front, and the turbine's turning about 30,000 RPM. It would appear that the gearbox, there was some outstanding. I think there was an outstanding AD or a service notice on the gearbox. Somewhere in its life that hadn't occurred. In Mike's putting it into service, that hadn't been addressed, and anyway, in cruise, the gearboxes, the three planetary wheels decided to not mesh with each other anymore. Came to sounds like a pretty instantaneous stop, and what that meant is that the propeller was no longer doing the governing action on the turbine, and the turbine probably went from 30,000 to over 100,000 RPM. And if you do that in a turbine, then things go beyond limits, and all the blade. Well, looking at the photos, lots of blades came off, lots of things came out of the engine. The aeroplane was stuck with shrapnel all over the place.
I've heard the phrase I've heard used online, only online, is people saying it grenaded itself.
It literally did grenade itself. And the bits where things didn't come out of the engine, it's like that it was trying, because literally there's little dents and marks all over the engine.
Probably not going to be repaired.
It's definitely not going to be repaired. But anyway, the NTSB was critical. And it was basically unknown when the last inspection of the reduction gearbox was performed. And the document says a review of purchase documentation revealed that the operator knowingly purchased the engine in unserviceable condition and only performed a periodic inspection before flight. So, which is, I consider Mike a bit of a legend. I've met him a couple of times. He's a really nice guy. He's really nice guy. He's done a lot for GA. Cast a positive light on with his he's got like the biggest can-do attitude I think I've ever come across. But you go, Mike, what were you thinking? So,
well, normally, if when he had the accident in Draco, he sort of came out and spoke about it very openly. So I would expect, if it's not been done already, for there to be something coming up on this.
Well, he got ahead of the. I'm guessing he had sight of the report before it was officially published, because he actually put out a video where he does address some of the things, but not. He kind of some people online have kind of accused him of kind of glossing over or painting around the facts. Fundamentally though, okay, people, things do go wrong. He lives to fly another day, and the aeroplane got fixed and donated to the EA Museum. We saw it.
We did.
Saw it this year. So
it seems a bit of a shame when you have something like that donated. Don't donate it just yet.
Yeah.
A bit. I mean, even Mike Patey can't run out of hangar space, surely. Last story then, Dave?
Yep. So Bristow, who famously originally an English company, now a worldwide company, they've just launched a sponsored pilot training scheme for its search and rescue operation. So the applications are open now. They're only open until the 8th of September, so you've got to be quick. But basically, they will train you to fly from zero up to flying a search and rescue helicopter. That's a big helicopter, things like Sikorsky,
S-92?
S-92, yeah. That's it. And so that's a really good thing. The only thing you have to pay for are your living expenses during the process.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not really very much in the grand scheme of things.
How many spaces?
They haven't released that. It did say it's very limited numbers, given that it probably costs somewhere in the region of £250,000 to train a helicopter pilot. That's a lot of money. And just also adding in that Leading Edge Aviation have done a very interesting link with two airlines, with Aurigny. Is that who you say? Aurigny. Yeah. The Channel Islands airline, and North Atlantic. So you go to LEA, Leading Edge Aviation, and if you're tagged during your ground-based training, they will then put you on a course to go and fly for Aurigny. You start off in the ATR 72, flying short haul. Then after a couple of years, when you've had a couple of years' experience, you go and fly for North Atlantic, flying the Boeing 787. That's a really interesting career progress.
Wow, that's a jump. Okay, so at the start of the show, we asked the question, is flying becoming less sociable?
Okay, I'll bite. Why do we think that?
Well, I was having a conversation with a couple of people recently, and they were saying that with the growth of farm strips, it's quite easy to go to a farm strip, get your airplane out, go for a flight, put it away again, go back home. You've never actually met anybody else. It's been a very solitary occupation, and the days of the big clubhouse and the flying school bar and stuff like that are getting fewer and fewer because of those establishments becoming fewer and fewer. And how does that get replaced? How do we make flying more sociable and less insular, I guess?
Yeah, well, there's one group I'm associated with. That's European Luscombe's, and the guy who organises that, Nigel Barrett, is very prolific on the European Luscombe's page on Facebook at saying, "Oh, I'm off to Wadswick tomorrow. Anyone join me for breakfast or lunch?" Same thing with Oaksey Park. I know that's a bit south orientated, but you get the idea.
I guess we have our little friend groups, but it's the kind of chance encounters you get at other places that you don't really easily get. I mean, I think Garston Farm, which is not really open to everybody.
It's not a massively open place. You can, with the right aeroplanes, you can visit, subject to getting PPR. But that is, and I've been based there for over 30 years, and it's an amazing place. There's 15, 16 aeroplanes based there, and I think what kind of makes it sociable is the fact that you've got 2 hangars, you've got those aeroplanes spread across the 2. Everyone has to interact to go flying. It's almost a bit like the glider, the gliding operation, sociability, that kind of thing. Plus, the other thing is we've got a caravan where everyone can go, and even sometimes if you go up there and you don't plan on flying, you might sit around and chat. It's like a smaller scale version, and maybe that we all know of the fantastic clubhouse at White Waltham, which is probably the really good example of sociability in flying.
White Waltham's got that great place. Stapleford's got a great place.
Okay.
And they tend to have a higher proportion of people who are flying. Whereas if you go to somewhere like Manchester, Barton that is, not Manchester International, they've got lots of places. Nobody walks and go, hey, I flew in. You get a lot of public coming in, which is a great thing, a bit like Wadswick here.
Yeah.
We don't go into the Wadswick restaurant and go, hello, everybody.
Yes.
What did you fly in with? They go, I bought my Range Rover, really. But yeah, there is a thread on the Flyer Forum, which is kind of tell us where you're going and we'll come and meet up.
Yeah.
And that was like really active, 19 pages of activity, but that's gone a bit quiet since March, really. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
No, it's because we did have a look at that, and it's like, if you'd asked me, I would have gone, yeah, no, that's currently active, but it's weird that's kind of got a little bit quiet. And it's you mentioned Wadswick. We're lucky here; every aeroplane lives in its own individual hangar, so you can just turn up and go fly. But it does, when I compare the 2 places, Wadswick and Garston, you go, yeah, that almost does foster a much less. It's great fun flying here, but it does foster a slightly less sociable aspect. You can kind of turn up, do your own thing, and not bump into anyone.
I think if you're all moving aircraft around and go, what are you doing? Oh, I don't know. I thought I might go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's pop over to Oaksey, get a cup of tea, or Popham or whatever. Popham's got a great social scene.
I loved. You and I both went to the last. We finally made it to to a fly-in barbecue at Popham, and Popham has one of. I would say that is a really sociable place. Mm-hmm. Great mix. The public come in, have a great time. Aviators come in from all over. The Popham barbecue last Thursday was fantastic. Had a great time there.
Yeah.
And that is a really good example of. But sometimes you need to get. I'm very guilty of this. My flying, sometimes I go up, I fly. I love making holes in the sky, but I don't necessarily have to go anywhere.
No.
So it's nice actually when I do go somewhere. It is fantastic.
But if you go, let's just pick Wadswick or Garston or something like that as an example.
Yep.
If you go there and there's nobody there, you drag your airplane out, go for a flight, come back, put it away, and there's still nobody there.
Yeah.
Is that somehow less of a experience than if you go there's a couple of people you chat with, catch up with, maybe go somewhere, drop in locally, maybe not, maybe fly with someone if you're flying with a 2-seat as opposed to one of your many single-seat fleet?
I think it is always nicer if you bump into people, and it's been discussed in the past. But I think there's a real benefit. Some of the conversations you can get into can help with safety and help people, if they're confused or something about a new bit of legislation or whatever, invariably stuff like that comes up. So there's definitely a benefit to the social side of flying, isn't it?
It appears to me that probably the thing that's in common with these places is having somewhere to actually to meet. Like at Garston, you've got
a caravan.
You've got a caravan. Popham's got that great cafe.
Yeah.
Enstone Airfield, they've got a nice clubhouse there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same at Weston.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess it's difficult to replicate that on a strip level because the strips don't have and don't really want the public. You're not setting up a restaurant on a strip, are you?
No. I guess most strips won't have fuel unless you're bringing in MOGAS.
No.
So perhaps people have to fly to a slightly bigger airfield where there's a few more facilities in order to refuel.
I think Oaksey, although it's not a strip, but Oaksey's got quite a nice little clubhouse where you can pop in and have a coffee.
Yeah, Oaksey's a lovely place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we need something like that at Wadswick. But, I mean, there is a restaurant which, the restaurant's owned by the same people, so you don't want to take business away from the restaurant.
Yeah.
But after hours of an evening during the summer, you kind of be nice to kick back with a cup of tea.
Yes. Yeah. Tell us in the comments, what do you think makes an airfield or a destination sociable? Are there particular things that you like to see that make you feel like you're having a great time?
To conclude the question, is flying becoming less sociable? I think it probably is becoming less sociable, but in a kind of different way. The white wolf, it's unlikely that we'll get another white wolfram springing up somewhere.
We always say, don't we, that it's, unfortunately we are in a situation where we occasionally lose an airfield now. They never get replaced.
No, I think also we've got to remember we're south-based. Yeah, we hear about Sherburn and Breton up north.
Yeah, places.
They're great places. They appear to be very sociable. So there are places around.
I think, yeah.
Paul Cadell, who does probably more flying than
everybody on the face of the
BA
earth.
Captain on short haul, is very often flying with a whole bunch of friends around. So maybe we need a kind of like a dating service for pilot. Not that kind of dating, obviously.
Maybe we should have a little competition or a feature of some kind about UK's most popular airfields, most sociable airfields.
Well, yeah, and that's probably in the past we've obviously looked at the Sky Demon data for most popular destinations, but I would imagine most sociable airfield might actually, you need to judge that needs to be a public vote.
We'd probably have to visit and see whether anyone says hello to us. Yeah, no, indeed. Time for some club news. And before we get into the club news, I've got a bit of club news from the day before yesterday, so Tuesday of this week. I was down at Andark in Southampton with a whole bunch of Flyer Club members on the dunking course.
So will we be seeing a video of you getting wet lots of times?
I haven't seen the footage. Henry was there taking videos. I kind of did warn him about filming me in my mankini taking videos. He would be influencing his future career. So we'll have to wait and see. There will be
a dunking video.
There will be some dunking video.
There's a link to Andark in the video description if you fancy doing that course yourself.
Okay, so you've got one more weekend to use the August free landing fees, which are Barton, Felthorpe, Netherthorpe, and Holmbeck Farm. Ed, I think you know about September's.
I do, and I can tell you that in September you can land for free at Blackbush, Dornoch, Kingsmuir, and you can get 50% off your landing fee at Kitty Hawk Farm.
Plus, we think there's another one on the way, a special bargain, which we'll let you know about next week. And don't forget, we've got plenty of new videos going up on our YouTube channel. There's one on the 50th anniversary flight at Popham. There's the Skyleader 400 flight test by Ian. There's talk with Cirrus, Ivy McIver, talking about the latest updates to the Cirrus aircraft. And there may be one from the LA Valley, depending on the weather.
Apart from great days like the Dunker Day that we went on earlier this week and the AIB Day that we've got coming up, there are lots of reasons to join the Flyer Club. You get access to all of our material. You get access to basically a couple of years' worth of monthly videos. So I think there's 30-odd videos in there at the moment. Treat that as your library. You can go back, watch those as many times as you want, and you get discounts on all sorts of things. Plus, from September the 12th, the price will be increasing. If you are a member now, or if you join between now and September the 12th, we'll protect the current price for another 12 months. But after that, it will be increasing. So save yourself some money. Join now.
So obviously, the question on everyone's lips is, what caught your eye this week? And I'm going to kick it off with the fact that I saw a reminder about an amazing project. You may remember this because we had an article in the mag. It's something called the Anequim project.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Anequim is the name of a shark. It's Portuguese for the mako shark. And this was an aeroplane that was designed to go unbelievably fast on just 4 cylinders. It was 180 horsepower, designed around 180 horsepower like homing, and a tiny guy, a chap called Gunnar Armin Halbroth. He was the kind of project sponsor, and he worked with Paulo Iscold, who is the brilliant. He's almost like Brazil's Bert Rutan.
It's aerodynamics whisperer.
Aerodynamics whisperer extraordinaire. And basically, they got together and they went, we can have a go at the it's an FAI world record in one of the classes. And basically, they looked at there was an aeroplane called the Poland Special, which had in 1976 at 20,000 feet could do 300 miles an hour on an IO 360. There was the John Sharp Nemesis Racer on an O200, did 290 miles an hour. That's bonkers.
Hang on a second.
Yes.
The Nemesis Racer.
The Nemesis, yes, the Nemesis Racer.
NXT.
No, not the NXT.
That's what I was mixing it up with.
No.
I was going to go, the NXT couldn't have done that on 200 horsepower. It would have barely moved.
Well, it was not even, technically not even 200 horsepower, because an O200 is 100 horsepower. Yeah. That was a tiny little Formula One class racer, very fast. But anyway, Paolo and Gunnar got together, and Paolo designed this amazing aeroplane. And you look at it, and it's all about perfectly using aerodynamics. There's a lot of area rule in it. You'll see that it kind of goes thin at the sections where the wing are and then fattens out. But it's an aeroplane built for absolute minimum drag. The rumor was that it might have had the smallest flat plate drag number of any man carrying aeroplane. So it was
even than the Cessna 182.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, much better than that. I suspect the spinner on the 182 had more drag than the Anequim. The aeroplane weighed just over 700 pounds, which was amazing when you think that the engine installed weight was 350 pounds. Anyway, this aeroplane, 10 years ago, they set 5 records. There was a 3-kilometre record, which was 323 miles an hour. They beat John Sharp's record, which was the previous holder, 290. Speed over 15 kilometres, that was 317 miles an hour. They did a 100-kilometre, 304 miles an hour. 500 kilometres, 306 miles an hour. And then to top it off, they went for time to climb. And Craig Cato, who is the American prop guru, made a variety of different props for the aeroplane. And he made a really trick 3-blade prop with little tiny winglets on. Who's ever seen a prop with winglets? Anyway, Anequim did a 0 to 3,000 metre climb. So essentially 10,000 feet. What do you reckon? How fast do you reckon 4 cylinders can get you to 10,000 feet?
Well, if you assume a climb rate of, say, 1,000 feet per minute, that's going to take you...
1,000 feet per minute? Like you can do that in a...
Okay, 2,000
in a mighty 182.
But if it's got a cruise prop, yeah. Okay.
It had a special climb prop. I'm going to put you out of your misery. It did 3,000 metres, 9,842 feet in 2 minutes, 26 seconds.
Wow. That's extraordinary.
And that beat the previous world record by a full 42 seconds. And those records...
I hope he got an approved NATS briefing to make sure he didn't bust any
airspace. Sky Demon would be like, slow down, you fool. You're going to bust all this airspace. Even today, it stands out as a magnificent product, magnificent achievement. There's a wonderful documentary that is worth watching if you haven't seen it. We'll link that in the description. And it was all a team. It was Paolo and Gunnar and a team of students from one of the leading Brazilian aerodynamics institutes, and it was just amazing, amazing thing. So,
Dave.
So I saw a tweet by Platinum Fighter Sales. That's the very specialist brokers.
They're targeting you. They know that.
They know I'm after one.
They know you're after one.
What did they figure you were after, Dave?
And you got money.
And this time I saw a 1980 Airco DH9. The Arco DH9 was one of the first purpose-built bombers, and it was made in Britain, designed around the then newly developed 200 horsepower Siddeley Puma engine. It's a nice little line in the ad, despite challenges with the engine's reliability. It still became one of the most produced aircraft of the period. There were 2,000 examples built. But there's not many left for some reason.
I'm guessing a wooden fabric aeroplane from probably nearly 100 years ago. Chances of survival, slim.
Well, actually, there are...
Over 100 years, isn't it?
Yeah. There are 2 examples, but only one of them is flying, and that's the one that's gone on sale. Both of the examples in existence have been restored by a British company called Retrotech down in East Sussex. I've never heard of them before. Do you know?
They are one of those companies that if you know them, but otherwise they're one of those quiet achievers.
Yeah. But anyway, there are some pictures which we'll put online, and it does look absolutely fantastic. Should say that the photographs were taken by Darren Harbour, well-known photographer, with the usually shoots at Shuttleworth, but the pictures are part of the ad, and it's just a fabulous-looking period aircraft. It is quite big. One of the photographs shows it being started with a peculiar.
That would be a Hux starter.
Yeah. And the people standing around it.
Nigel Huxtable.
Not named after, but usually built on a Rolls-Royce chassis.
Oh,
sometimes.
Really? Yeah. Anyway, it does look quite big. I guess it's not the sort of thing you can pull out of the hangar by yourself.
That's not that will definitely make your flying sociable. You are going to need lots of people to help you go flying in that. Am I right in thinking that that's probably the only flying World War I bomber you could
absolutely
go out and buy?
It is, and because of that, it's got a very special price.
How much?
£1.6 million.
Which is a big number, but for something of such incredible history, seems relatively small.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, that I agree with you. That is a fantastic machine.
Yeah.
Not my bag, but yeah, I'd love to see that fly.
Oh, I'd really like one of those in my fantasy hangar. It's got guns.
Fair enough.
What about you, Ian?
Well, I was chatting to someone about who was waxing lyrical about a Canard airplane, and I was kind of looking at it and the way that aircraft are configured over the last 100 years and more. You know, it seems to me we've pretty well established the best set of compromises to build. You know, between comfort, efficiency, manufacturing, and stuff like. You know, build an airplane, low wing, high wing, one single engine at the front, normal tail at the back. You've nailed it. You know, there's lots of other compromises you can play with, but there still persist people who do all sorts of bits and pieces to go, no, I've got a trick here, I've got a trick there, I've got this, I've got that, I've got everything else. And I think I was kind of looking at some of the examples from history, and the one that I found was the Avtec 400A, which is this kind of like a weird mishmash of it's got some bits of Starship about it, it's got a little bit of Piaggio if you squint your eyes, if you do one of Dave's favourite squints. And it's a pusher, a twin-engine pusher. It was a business aeroplane. And then someone went, you know what? We need a canard on this. And they go, have you got a wing or anything? I go, see that? Where are we going to put it? No, it's too difficult. Just bolt it on top of the cockpit. And it looks like an afterthought. I'm sure it wasn't an afterthought, clearly.
I must admit, I always look at the Avtec 400 and it makes me think of like two eyebrows.
It's weird. It's a complete... And it was Al Mooney designed it. Al, famous brother of another Mooney chap.
Yes.
Not the church.
Not
Alfred Mooney of Mooney Aircraft.
And I think it had one of those aeroplanes where they said, it flies great, but unfortunately ran out of money.
It ran out of money during the certification flight trials and never really went anywhere.
It's a classic case of, actually, there's a reason conventional configuration seems to win through.
Events then. It's pouring down with rain outside, but I'm sure it'll be beautiful at the weekend.
Well, let's hope so. Because this weekend, of course, it's the LA Rally at Leicester. That's on from Friday to Sunday. Other events, there's not much coming up this weekend, but if you look to the following weekend, it's another busy one with the ordinary flying from the 5th to the 7th. That's Friday to the Sunday. Over in France, there's the big French microlight rally, the Mondial de l'UM, LUM.
The ULM.
ULM, which is also Friday to Sunday, 5th to the 7th of September. On Saturday, the 6th of September, there's a Kitty Hawk summer flying, which is always a good one. And apparently this year it's going to be even bigger and better than it's been before.
So I believe.
Yep. Another really attractive sounding one is the Mull Tail Dragger flying at Glenforsa. That's Saturday and Sunday. I think if I was going anywhere, I'd be thinking about that one.
I'd be quite tempted by that one as well.
Yep. And also on Saturday, there's the Cornwall Strut flying at Bodmin. That's on Saturday.
And I'm gonna fly to the if it's flyable, to the AOPA Members Day, which is taking place at Old Horden. Okay, well, if you enjoyed that, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Above all, join us. You can join for £5 a month at the moment. Don't forget, it goes up on September the 12th at midnight. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye.
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 What caught your eye this week,
Yes.
Jingle? What caught your eye this week? What caught your eye this week? We're not going to do that.
Join the Flyer Club today and save hundreds of pounds with your free landing vouchers. Watch insightful monthly webinars from our group of aviation experts and access all the online content on flyer.co.uk. From just £5 per month, you can meet new people, fly more and become a better pilot. Join today at flyer.co.uk/membership.